Hi, hello, and welcome again to today's session of daily U.S. pre-market analysis. Hi, and welcome. Welcome again to another session of daily U.S. pre-market analysis. If you can hear me, please drop a yes on the chat box. I can make sure that you are able to listen to me. Fantastic. Thank you, Goshen. Welcome. Alexi, Abdul, welcome. We'll get started in a few minutes here, just allowing some people to go ahead and join. All right. So, as a new service from Vantage Markets, we're going to start doing this daily U.S. pre-market analysis half an hour prior to the U.S. session open from Monday through Friday. Okay. All right, let's get with it. First of all, let's take a look at the disclaimer. The information, context, opinions which are expressed in the presentation and on the following slides are solely those of the presenter and not necessarily those of Vantage, and are solely used for educational purposes, as they do not constitute investment advice and or consultation on how a client should trade. Vantage does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information provided herein. In regards to your host, I'm Gio Betancourt. I'm a senior VIP market analyst, a market educator, demonstrator of strategies with Vantage. I bring about 20 years of experience as a commodity trader, and I hold a Series 3, and also I'm a CMT candidate. What we're going to be seeing throughout this hour session will be the economic calendar, what's moving the markets, identifying key support resistance levels, and trading with Fibonacci tools. About Vantage real quick. Well, we all know that we offer over 1,000 instruments to trade, over 100 sharp patterns, technical indicators, and drawing tools. And we obviously stand for lightning execution, our winning 24-hour support, global connectivity, intuitive tools. All right, let me now start sharing the chart with you real quick so that we can get started here. Hold on for 1 second. All right, so in front of you, you should be seeing my chart. Before we get into it, let's take a look at the economic calendar for today. So for today, we basically have the EIA petroleum status report. Let's take a look at what the consensus is looking to be for today. So they're saying that the prior was 7.7 million barrels. Okay, so anything of such value or lower than that, we could probably come in and speculate fluctuation in the markets. In regards to earnings, which companies do we have here reporting today? Uber, Shopify, that's a big one. McDonald's is reporting today. Okay, well, Six Flags, Novavax. You know, Novavax, I believe Novavax is going to continue to fluctuate lower after that 250% tariff that Trump placed on them, on pharmaceuticals. So let's see what will happen. Now, that's another scenario that we obviously is being spoken about, tariffs. How will that impact the interest rate decision? And that's something that obviously we should be hearing about next month. So I'm looking at the list, and big companies. We having a lot of companies that are obviously reporting today, but those are the big ones, the biggest ones that I've seen so far on this list. All right, so let's get back to the charts. So one thing that I want to bring to your attention today, and we're gonna cover today, is something that is called the typical price. All right, the typical price. Let me use another chart for this. Use this one right here. Can you see my chart? Can you drop me a yes if you can see my chart, please? That is welcome. Harafi, welcome. Fantastic, thank you. All right. So in front of us, we have a daily candlestick chart. In technical analysis, there is something called the typical price. And the typical price is used to smoothen out price fluctuation, and is used as a pivot point. And the way that we come and find out that typical price is by looking. We can do it on a daily basis, or we can use it different days. But initially, you just want to use a daily value. So you look at the previous day value and you add the high, which is in this case 23,403, plus the low 23,084, plus the close 23,089 equals divided by 3, and that will give you the typical price for yesterday. So therefore, we can come in and just select a line, a trend line, and type in that value 23,192. Let's just give it another color so we can identify it amongst the other ones. Let's just give it yellow. All right, so this particular price, the typical price, is going to be used today as a pivot point. Pivot point meaning that the market will fluctuate around it. If the market is below it, it will act as a resistance. If the market is above it, it will act as a support. So as you can see right now, the market is below it. It has fluctuated above it for today. Now we want to come in and be able to identify what those levels of support and resistance will be for today. Now we can come in and basically use our Fibonacci tools, Fib retracement tool, and see how much of this movement is the market going to continue to basically pull back, retrace. So let's see in regards to this one. Let me just change. All right, so if the market is going to continue to push lower, right, then we can come in and say that the market most likely will come to fluctuate towards the Fibonacci value and then continue this trajectory lower, since we are measuring that level. So what can we come in and therefore use that as a possible level of resistance in this case? Yeah, that could be that's one of the applications for it. So let's use that. Let's use 61.80% as a possible level of resistance. Now let's take out the tool so we can look at the chart cleaner. Now we have the pivot point, which will act as a dynamic level of resistance or support. In this case now, resistance. So in the next level that we can come in and identify or speak about will be what? Yesterday's swing high. We were looking for a market to reach that swing high because we had used it as a level of resistance. So well, again today, if the market is going to continue is going to reverse yesterday's move, then we're looking that the market most likely will come in and test out again that level of resistance, that psychological level, 23,400. So initially, we want our target. If we are going to enter the market long, buying the market, initially our targets would be the 20-day moving average within the Bollinger Band, because that's what is there for a medium. It's a medium line in the Bollinger Band. That will be our first initial target because we obviously entering way below. Our second one, or first, if you want to wait for confirmation, will be that Fibonacci, that golden ratio that we use from the Fib retracement tool of 23,281. As we fluctuate higher and continue and see that the market is moving strong, then our final target will be 23,400. Now, as far as the market looking to show us that the trajectory will continue to go lower, well, let's use the trend-based Fib extension. We'll we'll measure yesterday's move from a high to its low to the high that it made so far today, and see which levels are we going to be able to use as far as the Fibonacci goes. So we want to be able to use as many values of extension possible. Okay, here we go. Okay, so therefore, the Fibonacci golden ratio, that will be the first level. So let's use that as a possible level of support. Let's take out the tool, and then now take a look at where that Fibonacci value is, the golden ratio. It sits right above a psychological value of 23,000. So 23,000 is going to be obviously that value, that level that the market might come towards and fluctuate, and see if it'll find support buyers around that level. So for our second level of support, we can either come in and look at previous swing lows, like this one's right here, or we can even come in and say that if the market is gonna retrace most low of Monday's movement to the upside, well, the lower boundary band will give that direction, or will give us a possible level where the market will find support or buyers. So it has created a pretty wide gap, or a wide range for trading today, the Nasdaq, and that's on a daily time frame. If you want to take less risk, you may want to do it on a lower time frame. But I'm just doing it for the daily ones, for daily ones. Then we have here the S&P 500. Okay, again, you can. I just did one of the pivot points. You can do the rest of them if you want or if you don't. So here, and for the S&P 500, what I'm looking to do is basically using yesterday's swing open, and which is almost close as the previous day's swing high, around that level for a level of resistance, and 6,400 as psychological. Then as level of support is applied, then we can either come in and use the tool that I just mentioned, the extension tool, but that will give us right that moment, that value that of 61, which that has penetrated. So that wouldn't work out for us very well. So from this case, 6,300 is a psychological value. I use a lot of psychological value because they always work. People come towards it. Traders come towards it. Not just us are using it, but there are other traders using it. So I'm gonna use psychological values, okay, and give it a tighter range, speculating that the market today will rebound to the upside when the market opens. Okay, that's something that we want to keep in mind. Reporting, everything really has done been done what needed to be said about the interest rates. We're just waiting for that decision next month. Then we have the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is basically within range. I mean, it did fluctuate lower towards yesterday to Monday's middle of the body of Monday's market fluctuation, and it recovered, but still recovering in the red. The levels that we have used for support were violated, but they weren't broken. Meaning we didn't have the candle close below those levels. So if they work once, will they work again today? Yeah, so I'm gonna leave them. But basically, I am gonna tighten up the levels actually. So I'm gonna use 44,000 as a psychological, and then I'm gonna bring down my first level to 44,150. Right? Then resistance. Well, this candle open in low here, and is closed. Is fluctuated above our first level that we had placed yesterday. So I'm going to leave 44,500 as is, and then I'm going to use the 20-day moving average as my second level of resistance. So that will be my second target for today. Crude oil. So crude oil, we're having that particular information today from crude oil. So yesterday was a pretty down day. Today is a recovery. So let's see. They use a 50-day moving average as a first level of resistance, and then the second one will be the 20-day moving average, or the medium of the Bollinger Bands, and this daily candlestick. So as far as support goes, 65.5 was yesterday's swing low. So I'm gonna tighten it up a bit, making it yesterday's swing low is 65,474. So 468, and then $65 psychological. So initially, if the market does retrace all of today's move, basically the London session move, initially we'll look at $66 and to see if that will be a place of psychological importance and the market finding some support buyers there. So going with the market trend, buying Nat Gas. Nat Gas yesterday had a pretty strong move to the upside. It retraced, it hit our level of resistance, but it quickly retraced. Today, it has done a pretty wild swing. It's pushed higher, right? Even though it opened gap down, because this candle closed at 296, and this one opened at 2.964. Basically the same level, but this one close to 2.966, and this is 2.964. All right, so it opened a tad bit gap down. The market did continue to move to fluctuate lower, but I just use basically this doji for our first level of resistance, and its swing high of the same doji as a second level. As far as support goes, well, 290 can be contemplated. The market will need to retrace, drop all of what it's done so far today. So that's why I'm using that. And then I'm going to use this swing low. So Monday swing low as possible level of support. So direction. Right now, the trend is up. Intraday is up. We're in an uptrend. Well, let's just continue. Let's go with the trend. The trend is your friend. Looking to obtain those short gains. All right. So gold. Gold yesterday had a pretty wild swing as well. We did open gap down, was closed, fluctuation to the upside. We did meet our levels of resistance, our targets. They were met yesterday. So today, the market has fluctuated to the downside. For gold, let's take a look at an hourly chart and see what has been happening in gold. So in this hourly chart, we can come in actually and use those levels. Basically, I'm going to use the previous hour swing low as a first level of support, because the 50-day moving average is right there in this time frame, and it's giving support to the market. So why use that so tight? Actually, 360, and then I'm going to use 355, second level of support. Resistance in this hourly time frame, because if you're looking to take a trade, it'll be in this hourly time frame. Initially, the 20-day moving average, and then 33.80 again. So as the market fluctuates, if it's going to continue with this upward momentum for the last few hours, then, but one thing that you want to also realize is that it's taken the market 1, 2, 3. It's in its fourth hour. We have 40 minutes left on this candle, but it's actually taken it 3 hours and 10 minutes and 20 minutes to recuperate or retrace what it did in 2 hours. So there are many. Basically, this is telling me there's a lot of pressure on selling. So there's a lot of pressure there. So perhaps if we do come in and fluctuate towards our 20-day moving average, the market will reverse and will make a dive for our level of support. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna go back to the 1 day. We identify our levels for gold there. Silver. So silver is a strong uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. $38 jumps at me. and it basically is matching our medium line, our 20-day moving average. Next level, well, I'm looking at this doji here, and basically a double top there. So around that level, second level of resistance. Support, well, let's take a look at the swing lows from today initially, and then 37.5 is just too tight of a range, but it does matches previously swing lows of the market. 33, 37, 30 for the last hour swing low. I'm gonna do that. I like that. I find RSI is still way low on this hourly, on this daily time frame from being entering overbought. So momentum to the upside is being built. So being long, silver, copper, sideways trading, ranging, coughing of congestion. This is a great setup for a breakout or a breakdown in that essence. So yesterday's levels, one was actually it was we have moved that, but today the market opened right at the level that I have here. So I'm gonna actually just use this swing low and then the previous swing low for support. As far as resistance goes, well, 440 seems to be working well so far in this time frame. All right, I'm gonna tighten up my 445 actually, and just leave that at 440 for copper. Copper demand is always gonna be there. So let's see if this particular asset will finally find its bottom, because it's on a daily basis it's rejected this area once, twice, three, four times. Okay, so this is a strong area of support. So let's just be aggressive and be bullish on copper. I could be wrong. There's no crystal ball here. I could be wrong. Market could just decide to go the other way and drop. Bitcoin yesterday had a pretty wild swing. It actually hit both of our support and both of our resistance levels. So it created a pretty wide range. So therefore today, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna widen that range by using 116 and 115.389 as the resistance, support the 50-day moving average initially, and then that swing low here for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin moves by thousands. So let's see if it'll be able to sustain itself around the 115,000. That's where it's looking to come towards. Then we have the currencies. All right, so the euro is finally breaking out, moving to the upside. Fantastic move. This is a nice move to the upside. We are already fluctuating above the 20-day moving average, so the medium of the Bollinger Band. So 117 target, 117. Initially, between that and our target will be 116,600-ish, right there. Okay, as far as support goes, we can use that 50-day moving average. That's what they're there for. They're dynamic levels of resistance and support. In this case, it's acting as a support. And I'm going to leave 115 as psychological. But momentum to the upside. RSI just crossed over the 50 marker, implying that momentum to the upside is building. So let's go with that logic. Pound also recovering, moving to the upside. So initially 133,400 target, then second 133,600 target, support, initial support 132,800, and then I'm gonna leave that as yesterday's swing low. For whatever reason, yesterday that swing low hit a level of support and rebound. What off of what? A psychological value. Now this momentum to the upside will be sustained as we see that the dollar index continues to decline. Yesterday had a pretty wild swing, but we need that if we are to hit those markets, those targets today, we definitely need to see that the dollar index continues to drop and eventually even fluctuates below 98. So we want to be able to see that. So initial resistance 98,600-ish. And then yesterday's swing high as far as the market goes. So one thing that I want to also keep in mind, hold on for 1 second. All right, now let's go back to our assets and break it down towards the 5-minute candles and see what we can be seeing here. If we are able to take a look at this asset, this market. Hold on for 1 second. All right, so we have here market looking to rebound off that 50-day moving average on this particular chart, right? That's what we're seeing here. Our pivot point. So if the market is looking to sustain itself to the upside, and that momentum to the downside that we saw yesterday was just basically a knee-jerk reaction after the ISM numbers came out somewhat hotter than were expected, then we should initially, our target should be our pivot point. That where we should be aiming, that the market will most likely find that resistance, or it will come towards that. That's our momentum is to the upside, right? So let's figure it out. Then we have, in this case of the S&P, we have the 50-day moving average above the market. So it's putting pressure on the market rather than support, or giving it resistance. So in this scenario, the market is looking to continue to move lower. So initially, in this 5-minute candlestick chart, the lower Bollinger Band will be the target as the market continues to show us fluctuation to the downside. So if we were to enter short now, that's where we will assume the market will find support. Just like the Dow Jones is doing so far, is fluctuating to the downside. So the momentum is looking that the market, if as we are looking to open, will we find the market momentum to the downside and the indexes. So therefore, let's see if the crude oil is moving higher. Well, we have the averages way below the market, and basically the asset is just sideways trading, shoppiness, waiting for a catalyst. Nat Gas. Look at Nat Gas, how it's creating a floor. Now, will this floor be broken as the market opens? First reactions of the market, if we had already been moved to the upside, this could be profit taken. How much of a deeper retracement we will see? Initially, $3 psychological. So if the market does fluctuate lower, will we find that support at $3, and from here do a reversal and continue its trajectory upward, its previous move? That could be a case. Gold is sideways trading, perfect setup. I mean, the candles are quite tall, quite wide, but this is a great setup for a breakout or a breakdown, right? So if we do have a breakdown, our targets will be the moving averages. If we do have a breakout, 33.72 initially, and then obviously our levels of resistance will be in place, will be our targets. Silver is also just doing a little coffin of congestion, sideways trading, consolidation. Great setup for a breakout. So $38 initially would be our target, as we see that all right, and the market is open. So let's take a look at our indices and see what will happen. So all right, so the market is fluctuating above of our 50-day moving average, looking mighty strong to the upside. Ooh, that was a wild swing, 23,180. So that was a pretty strong move. You saw that that fluctuation to the upside first and then just drop. But as you see it did drop, but it's being sustained. It was sustained. So it's basically we're 50-50 across the bell. The heat map is 50-50. So we're having a tug of war here. Let's see what will happen. Let's take a look at the S&P. Ooh, S&P just fluctuated to the downside. Strong move to the downside. Dow also. So target 151. Crude oil. Is it gonna pop? Are we gonna have? Well, the number will come out at about an hour. It comes out at 10:30 New York time. So let's see. But we are seeing a momentum to the upside on our side. Nice curve to the upside. Let's see if it'll continue to move higher. Nat Gas. All right, so it's sustaining itself. I'm looking that sideways trading for now. Gold. Let's take a look at gold. So gold is looking to do a breakout out of this scenario, out of this particular coffin of congestion. Will it break up to the upside? Well, if dollar index does continue to drop, it might, but it looked like it caught a bid. So it made a bottom of 98.5, 98.15, sorry. But this candle was open gap down, it's closed. Ooh, that's a strong momentum to the upside. Let's see the currencies. Flush found support at the 20-day moving average, sustaining itself. The pound. The euro. Oh well, the euro seems to be also sustaining itself right across this level of support that we've seen here, but it might fluctuate lower towards the 20-day moving average and medium. Bitcoin, you see Bitcoin moves by thousands, 113,815, and then the high 114,130. So it's fluctuating, obviously. All right, so we have copper, parabolic movement, retracement, finding support around the 20-day moving average. Will that be enough for it to make another attempt at the previous high? That could be the case. Silver is whipsawing. It is pretty wild. Gold, same token, pretty wild swings. Nat Gas sustaining itself around $3. Crude oil looking to make a break above that top of 66.82. Dow just dropped. So the indices are dropping madly. What a swing. What a strong swing. This is radical. All right. In regards to radical, the NASDAQ did make that swing, the move to the upside. It passed our pivot point. So let's see if the pivot point now will sustain itself and give us a support and do a reversal here, or will it continue to move higher in this particular time frame? We have 50 seconds here, and everything is about the market settling down after it's open. So 15 minutes when it opens. You want 15-30 minutes, depending on what that would be. Any questions? Or anybody has any questions? Do you guys want to take a look at any other asset? I follow 12 assets here. All right, so we are strongly now in this candle, a strong momentum to the upside for NASDAQ. Thank you, Goshen. All right, then we have again momentum to the upside being built. Support levels in this particular asset weren't even considered, but let's see if this movement will be sustained to the upside. All right, Dow also very strong swing to the downside. That was a pretty wild drop from 44,400 all the way down to 44,183. So basically, what, 220 point move. Crude oil. All right, crude oil, it seems to be creeping up. Let's see if it'll be able to sustain itself and make another attempt at a move higher. Obviously, that number, that report will come out and have something to say about this fluctuation. Nat Gas is just sideways trading. Sideways trading. Gold. Oh, gosh gracious. So gold actually did a breakdown. So we were anticipating for a breakout, but it did a breakdown. Most likely because the dollar index is putting pressure on it as well. But you see how it is basically finding support right around the moving averages, this confluence. So let's see if that will be enough, or if it does happen to drop, if you take up in being aggressive, your targets will be those swing lows. So 33.65, entering a short position, and then quickly, so it'd be like a scalp. 33.63, 33.64 psychological, if you're gonna follow the mechanicals of using psychological values. So that would be a possible place for it. Then obviously you want your stop loss. Where will you do your stop loss? How much of a percentage are you going to do your stop loss? Will you get stopped out eventually? So the movement has already began. So, and we have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on this candle, but it seems to be holding around this moving averages. So should it break, so that momentum to the downwards, should it be sustained, then we'll see obviously 33.64 being met. And then we have, then right below that, or above, if I should say, our lower Bollinger Band, we have our level of support, our first level of support. So let's see what will happen. Let's take a look at silver. So silver actually made a head fake towards the 37.90 above our upper Bollinger Band, but it quickly retraced, closing in the red, and again is finding support around the moving averages, looking to see if it'll move higher, or has this momentum, this basically being something that of profit taken. That could be the case, but obviously also dollar index will have something to say if it continues to appreciate. Then we have copper. Copper now is sideways trading, just ranging on the previous 5-minute candle. Bitcoin dropping, so Bitcoin is on a tear. So should we come and contemplate? It'll come towards 113,000. That could be the place. The euro. All right, so it's continuing its lower trajectory, pulling the asset, looking to meet the 20-day moving average. Let's see if it finds that support at that average. Will it find support at that average, or will it fluctuate even lower and then find it here on this volume cluster that it was created during the London session, right around here, which sits right above what, 116, well, okay, 116.50, but still 116-ish in the psychological. The pound on this particular candlestick chart is doing a symmetrical triangle, so it could break out either way. Dollar index, last 15 minutes has been a positive recovery after making that low, the double bottom reversal. So let's see if it does fluctuate higher. Will it come to a 20-day moving average and then find that resistance and then enter another leg down? That could be the case. Let's take a look. Ooh, the NASDAQ, such a wild swings though. Such a wild swings. But it is finding support. It is sustaining itself right above, the 23,150. But maybe not so much now. So it is looking to make another a leg down. So initial target could be the lower Bollinger Band, 23,140 if you're looking to sell. Then let's take a look at the S&P. Same token, it opened gap up. But again, it's still, we're not even 15 minutes in the open. So we need to obviously let the dust settle. Dow pushing lower. Let's see if it'll find that support and make a reversal of the level of support. All right, crude oil, equal highs, equal lows, coffee and congestion. Let's see if we'll see a breakout, depending on that report, but it's still an hour away from now. Then we have Nat Gas. It's sideways trading. It's just waiting for a catalyst. Take a look at gold again. Oh, Doji. Will that be change of direction? That what a Doji identifies. A change of trend. Well, if it's green, we still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 20 seconds left on this candle. Moving averages are crossing, if you take a look. So moving averages are crossing, and the market is actually fluctuating across them. Will this momentum last to the downside, or is this just resettling? The market is just settling out, looking for participants. The dollar index seems to be having putting a lot of pressure on it. All right, silver as well, retracing. It seems to be finding that support around the moving averages. Copper, Doji, but it is basically making a ascending triangle, if you will, in this 5-minute candlestick chart. So will the direction of the opening, which side will it be, to the upside or to the downside? If it does that, then targets will be 50-day moving average or the lower Bollinger Band, and if it breaks out, then 440 initially previous swing high. So let's see what will happen when we time this up right here. Take a look at Bitcoin. Oh, from such a swing low, it's recovered, but it's making the bands pinch or contract. As you see, the bands aren't opening. They're getting closer to each other. So that just creates, it identifies volatility is gathering, accumulating. All right, silver sustaining itself between those moving averages. The same as gold. Looking to do a breakdown on gold here. We have a minute left on gold. Could that be the case? Today we haven't had a really good momentum for a trade. Entering a trade today, we're about 15 minutes into the open. So that right there will be something that we want to keep in mind. Anybody have any questions? Dow, let's see, look at the assets. Okay, so Dow seems to be settling. The S&P seems to be settling. And we have again NASDAQ back to the pivot point. And it's fluctuating. All right, so continuing push to the upside. Ooh. Now this is a nice momentum to the upside. Will we meet that swing high? That previous swing high? Will we close above that? RSI still away from it. All right, let's take a look at the S&P also moving higher. Dow has it found its bottom of the with this double bottom here. Reversal move to the upside, target the medium. Will that be the case? Crude oil. All right, so also it opened gap up in this particular candle is being closed. So momentum to the upside is being built. RSI still not close to being overbought. Nat Gas is right there though, in the borderline of being overbought, the RSI. But can we anticipate or speculate that we'll have a leg up towards our level of resistance? The target, it seems to be that working that way. Momentum has been built. So far, it could be profit taking, repositioning. Gold still lingering around the moving averages, but with a breakdown. If it does break down, then targets are previous swing lows. But it's just still steadily holding. Silver also. Silver has a more attitude to show us a momentum to the upside. So 37.85 target initially. We still haven't broken out of this ascending triangle. Actually, we're expanding it. So let's see if we'll see. Actually, it's looking for that breakdown on copper. Bitcoin. Ooh, Bitcoin steadily climbing back up. So let's see if he's able to close above our moving averages and closer to 114,200 or above that, we can contemplate a recovery on Bitcoin. Euro is recovering. The pound also. The dollar index is dropping. So let's see if the dollar index will continue. Now this, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this sharp pattern called dead cat bounce. If you have, drop me a yes. Have you heard about that sharp pattern, dead cat bounce? You haven't? All right. Well, a dead cat bounce, it's when we see a market trending lower with strong momentum, making a bottom, and then from this momentum rebounding, making a high, and then continuing its previous trajectory. So when you see like this curve, and that's called a dead cat bounce, basically. So the target will be obviously the bottom that was created from the first drop. That will be our target if you were to enter, to the downside on a sell mode. So that will be moving to the downside. And that's what we're anticipating for the dollar index to do, to continue its trajectory lower. Let's see if that will be the case so far. All right, so we have broken out of that range in this 5-minute candle. Target 23.21 for the Nasdaq. S&P still hasn't really broken out because we need to break out of this double top here of 63.42, which is basically the upper Bollinger Band. And so the market is still within the moving averages. But let's see if we'll find a bid. Okay, so Dow is making a triple bottom. Now it's breaking out of that. Target 44,151. Crude oil is about to break down. Targets moving averages if you decide to take a trade. Nat Gas. It is accumulating. We gotta. I'm gonna favor a breakout to no a breakout. Gold. All right, so it's finally sustained itself around the moving averages and it's now looking for a leg higher. So it caught a bid. It has caught a bid gold here. So what can we consider that the market will actually continue to move higher? Well, we already surpassed. We're still there. So 3370 is the target. Initial target, obviously, in this on this 5-minute candlestick. All right, let's see. Let's see if that momentum will be sustained to the upside. 3370 target, bouncing off the 20-day moving average. Market was doing basically creating a bottom. The doji was 3370 done. Target has been met. Momentum to the upside is building. Next target, upper Bollinger Band, 3372. Will that be the case? We're 50 cents away from it. No, let's see. Profit taking obviously could be seen here. Let's see if we are able to meet that next target, 3372. Market's pushing back. Momentum still to the upside. We've eliminated, taken out previous swing highs. So 3372, it's about to be met. Let's see. Or have we kissed it? Have we rejected it? And we came very close to it. Very close to it. Very close to it. That 3372, and basically we've done it. We touched it. We passed it. Met. Target met. That's it. Therefore, momentum continues to be on our side. 3374. Next, our first level of resistance. Should that be met? Would that be met? It could be met. Let's take a look at dollar index. Because if this puppy drops, whenever there's a trade, yes, but not at the same time. I may have a trade open with obviously all of my settings placed, my take profit and my stop loss done. But yes, I follow all of these 12 assets, so I do trade all of them, but not if there's not one time that I've had an open trade on each one of them. I may have open trades on 4, 5, 7, but not 12 at the same time. You gotta control your greed. But obviously, if the market is giving it to you, why not, right? See, take what the market gives you. Look for momentum, price action. You've heard about price action before. So when we were looking at gold, and I was giving you targets, possible targets of 3370, 3372, right? I was looking at the momentum of the candle, but also understanding that because of the dollar, I was looking at the dollar index and how the dollar index was dropping. I was analyzing that there is a correlation between dollar index or the dollar, metals, and the currencies, because that's how basically really in reality with everything. Because if you want to buy an asset now, if you want to buy a stock, you will have to exchange your currency to a dollar. You could have accounts in euros and pounds and dollars and whichever other currency you have, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be just converted into a dollar somehow at some point. So I do follow the dollar index a whole lot, and from what the dollar index does, that for example is continue to drop, right? And 98.15 shows me a previous low, and I had told you about the dead cat bounce, that if the trajectory will continue to move, then that will be the target if you enter short, right? So the market is showing us that it's pulling, the dollar index is dropping. So therefore, I have 98.15 in my mind, and I know that when the market, the momentum started to the downside on the dollar index, the index was showing me a negative 0.285. So I could understand also that 98.15 could be somewhere close to negative 0.400. So if that's the case, I'm seeing that as gold continues to catch a bid, right, and move to the upside, and I see not being a negative but being a positive, and this being this negative incrementing, then I'm seeing the correlation that the dollar index is dropping because this negative is incrementing, and my positive is rising. So I follow this, and I follow this, and I look at how the candle is moving, and I just take my trades. This right here is profit taken because this is profit taken. This is completely profit taken. So as you open your charts, have the dome here, have this here, and look at these exchanges. This is important because this right here tells you the momentum is being built up or not. Okay, so let's go back. Let's take a look at the assets for last time. So we've talked about the pivot point or the typical price, how we added the high, the low, and the close, and divided by 3, and that value we identify it by using a trend line, and that'll be a typical point. And the typical point tells you that the price will most likely fluctuate around it, like it's doing so. It's fluctuated above and come back down to it. It's fluctuated below and come back down to it. It's fluctuated above and now coming back down to it. So the pivot point, if you understand about pivot points, that is basically one way to identify or to obtain, to have pivot points, and they work. They work, that as I showed, not 100%. Nothing is 100% anyhow, but the trajectory so far and this on this hour. Let's take a look at the hour chart. So now you can come in and say, okay, so the initial levels that we have placed of support and resistance were for daily fluctuation, but intraday I can come in and use that swing high as a first level of resistance, and then that swing low as another level of support, as a first level of support. And you have your trading range for today. So you understand that if you are below it and the market has been already there, and you see a momentum being built, then that could be another target again. Or vice versa, if the market is retracing, well, then that low will be your target. Initial stop or initial levels of support, or where we could find reversals, the pivot point. So now you have ranges for the market. In this 1 hour, we basically 30 minutes, 30 seconds, it's been red, but you see that the fluctuation, you see how in this hour, the 50 moving average has been, spot on. Market has fluctuated, rebounds off of it, because it acts as a dynamic level of resistance. Take a look at the Dow. Wider swing, wider range, but it bounced off our level of support. So now we have a range, 44,100. Crude oil, we were watching, but hey, hit our first target. Now, this guy open gap down, being closed, but momentum to the upside. RSI is creeping up, about to enter overbought. So 67 again, that would be your target. Nat Gas, so we have that range. move to the upside, hey, the target is higher. Gold, in our previous hour, we have a range, move to the upside, and we're looking for a positive momentum. Now, the RSI is right at the borderline of 50, but we obviously could contemplate the idea that we are going to meet that 33.74 level of resistance. Look how the negative on the dollar index was climbing. Okay, this needs to be lower into the green. We're negative so far. So, but that negative, when it changes to a green, would that mean that we already have hit our level of resistance? Most likely. Then we have silver. It's getting set for another move to higher. So $38 our target for today. And the copper, we were looking at a breakdown. Let me go back to the 5 minute. So we were looking at a breakdown, and it happened. So the target was actually more than met on copper. We had a breakdown or a breakout, and we had a breakdown out of that ascending triangle. Okay, go back to the 1 hour. It could be recovery mode. Bitcoin, wild swings on the top end of that swing. So momentum to the upside. The currencies, the euro is basically retraced what it fluctuated in 1 hour in this 3 minutes. So that's a strong move to the downside. Dollar index is recovering to 90 to 95. So we'll see push to lower, and the dollar index is recovering. Okay, you see that? So this is getting wider. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Again, thank you for watching. This will be done on a daily basis from Monday through Friday, starting half an hour prior to the U.S. session open. All right, Gaussian, thank you for joining us. Faisal, Gadis, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.